Hello students, today we are going to study SQL commands. Now these SQL commands can be divided into two broad categories. So the first category is the DDL commands. So DDL commands, it stands for Data Definition Language Commands. Definition Language Commands. Now what it does, it helps us to create, modify and remove database structures of database objects, objects like tables, etc. So the three main commands are create, alter, drop, and you can also consider truncate, which also acts as a DDL command. There is another category of commands which are DML commands. The DML stands for Data Manipulation Language Commands. And these commands are basically deals with the data. So it helps us to insert, update, and delete and query the data present in the in database objects like tables, etc. Okay. So here the three commands will be insert, update, and delete, and the one which also we can include is the select, though it does not manipulate the data, but it basically get you or retrieve information from the tables. Okay, so these are the DDL commands. Now we will focus in this video on DDL commands. Now what are the DDL commands? Now for the DDL commands, we have to, so the DDL commands which we are going to understand, the first command will be to create a database. So to create a database, we need to write a syntax will be create database, and then you need to give a database name. And in every SQL command, you need to put a semicolon. So for example, to create database name school. So if you want to create a database name school, your command will be something like this: create database, and the name of the database, this case is the school. So this is creating the database. Now the next thing is to create a table. Okay. So to create a table name student. Now, whenever we create a table, we will be given some information. Now, what kind of information we are getting? In case of table, we basically get three types of information, which is one is the column name, one other is the data type, and third one is the constraint. So in this table student, our column name, then we have a data type, and then we have the constraint. Now let's see, the column name is admission number. Its data type, let's see, it is a character, 4 characters, fixed for every student, his or her admission number will be a 4 character, and it is a primary. Primary key is one of the constraints which ensures that data must be present and it should be unique. The next column will be name, and here we are giving the name as varchar 30. So it can hold maximum of 30 characters. And here we are giving a constraint called not null. Not null, what it will do is that it will not allow you to leave it blank. Then we have a gender. Gender can be char. So it is a single character. So default we will take as either M or F. So either we can write char 1 or simply char will do. And here the default value will be M. One more we are taking is the date of admission. So let's see, we see this one as DO. This is a date field, and one is the percentage marks, or let's say the aggregate marks. This one we are taking a decimal value with total 5 digits with 2 points after the decimal point. So 2 digits can be after the decimal point. So now this is what the table we need to create in SQL. So how we can go for writing these commands in SQL. So for creating any table, the procedure of creating table is like this. The syntax will be create table. Then we need to give the table name. Then first bracket, we have to give the column name. Then we have to, after giving the column name, we have to give the data type of the column, and then any constraint which is optional, which is required. In case if it is there, you have to give. Then you can give more column names. Okay. So I'm copying this one. There can be more column names. This is the column name. Okay. So likewise, this column name, and finally, you can closing bracket and a semicolon. This is the syntax. Now we are going for this particular table. For this table, if we need to do any kind of query, so what we need to do is to create this table in SQL. What we need to do, we have to give the table name, create table, and the name which we have given is the student. And this student table, we have the first column is the admission number. One thing which you should note that SQL is not case sensitive. So you can write in uppercase, lowercase, but it is always suggested you should follow the names which is given in the questions so that it is there won't be any confusion. So it's a character of 4 and it is a primary key. So we are going to write here primary. Then we have the next one, which is the name. Name is a varchar, and we have stated it should be 30 characters and not null. That means there are 30 characters maximum it can hold, but there can be less than 30 also, which is allowed. Gender is a single character, so you can write either char or char1, both will do. So I'm writing char here, and the default gender is male. Okay. Next is the date of admission. Date of admission is DO, and it is a date type. And then aggregate, which is a decimal value, which can hold maximum of 5 digits with 2 digit after decimal points. So this is the SQL command. Now this SQL command should create the table. Now if we run this one, so we are seeing there is no output is there. The reason of no output is this. It doesn't mean that it is not created, but behind the scene it has created in the SQL server. In this my SQL server. So to see the structure, we need to write describe student. So when you write describe student, it will show you the structure of the table which is created behind the scene. So this is how we have created the this. Now here, very important is that uh, to view the structure of any table, we need to write the command describe, and then the table name. Likewise, we have done in the case of the student. Or you can write it as describe DESC, and then also you can write the table name. So don't forget to put the semicolon. Okay. In many programming languages, it is compulsory, and in SQL also semicolon is a terminator character. So in case if I am writing DESC, I will be getting the same results. You can see the same table is there, which I can see in the output. So this is the table which I have created in this case. Now the next thing which we are going to uh, see, we need to make changes in that table. So there are a few things which you should know before we move to this thing. So to create any table, before creating any table, we need to open a database. So to create uh, uh, any table, we need to follow the step one, which is to open the database. Now, in case, open the database. If the database exists, and if does not exist, you can create database. So to create database, what syntax is, you will write create database and then the database name. Okay, so it's create a database. For example, in this case, we are creating the database student. So we'll write create database, no, school. We have given the name is the school. This the step two is to, as I say, first step is to basically to open a database, but this database can be opened only when it is existing. But if the database exists, to open a database, we need to write a command. We use a command called use. In this case, we do not write the word database, but database name. We use database. Okay. So again, the example in this example, we will write use school. Use school is the data. Now, after doing these two steps, we can go for the creating the table like I have created in here as the table, right? In this online system, uh, there is a restriction on creating the database, so I'm unable to show you this commands here. But in your own SQL server, you can create a database, and if the database is already created, you can use the database directly. Then only you can create the table. Otherwise, what will happen? It will give you an error as you have not selected the table. Now, after creating database, we need to do few operation on the database, basically to modify the structure of the database. So what are the changes we can do in a database? To modify the table structure. So to modify the table structure, we can do first, we can add a column. We can modify an existing column. We can remove a column. We can make a make an existing key, uh, existing column as the primary key. See, sometimes what happen, we can, there is a, we forget to give the primary key. So in that case, we can give a primary key. So how we can make it? We remove the primary key constraint from the table. Okay. And one more, in case you want to change the name of the code, change the name of the code. So these are the four basic changes which we are going to do in the table structure. So let's start with the first one, to add a new column to a table. So basically the syntax will be like this. You will be writing alter table, then you have to give the table name, then add, and after add, I'm writing in square bracket this column, this add column. So you can write it add column, or simply you can write the column name. So you can simply write the column name, column name, column name, and the data type, and the constraint on the data type, semicolon. As I already said, you can also put the, in case you want to use the other syntax, which use the add column. But as I said, add column is optional. You can write simply add in the column. Now let's see. In this example, I'm showing you, I am add a column email to the table student. Okay. So to the table student, you want to add a column names email. So the syntax will be you will be writing alter table, then table name, followed by add column, column name, and I think no. Here in this case, I better show you this syntax thing we have already done. So I'm writing the command here. So the command will be alter table student, add email, and let's see, it's varchar 10. And let's see, one more constraint we add here is the constraint is the unique. Now unique constraint will allow null values, but it will not allow duplicate values. So at this moment, you cannot see any column name email in this one, right? So after executing this command, when we see the structure of the table, we will see this email is added. So let me run it here. So you can see the email has come, and UNI is basically the constraint which is there. So this is the command which is there. Alter table student, add column, email, varchar 10 unique. Okay. And so this is the command. And obviously describe is not required for the command, but it is helpful if you want to see the structure. So the next thing which we are going to see, to modify uh, an existing attribute. So basically what you can change in the column is its data type or its constraint. So sometimes if you want to change, not altogether, you want to change some part of a data type. For example, you want to change the width. So the syntax of the command will be alter table, then table name, and then you are going to write modify, then the column name, then the data type, and the constraint in case there is a constraint which is optional, which you can do. Now, for example, in this case, as you can see, the email which I have added, it has only 10 characters, but normally email has more than 10 characters. So if you want to increase, so for example, you want to do increase the width of column email to 25 characters. Now, to increase it to 25 characters, what we need to do? Now, here you see at the moment it is 10. Now, if I want to increase it by 25 characters, I will write here alter table student modify email varchar 25 and unique will be as it is. So now if I run it, what I will be getting? I will be getting here. So you can see the email is now becoming 25 characters, right? So maximum of 25 characters I can add it. So this is the command for the to modify a column size in this case. So other attribute also you can change, but it's all depends on. So basically it's not altogether a new column, but to change the column remain as it is. The name should remain as it is, but you are changing the any of the attribute like size, etc. Now the next thing is uh, we are going to do next is to remove an existing column. Now to remove an existing column, the syntax will be alter table, then table name, and then we will writing draw column, and this time we only mention the column. Okay, we do not need the any attribute or anything. For example, I want to remove this email column altogether. At this time, the email column is there. So to remove, for example, to remove email column from the table. So what will be the SQL commands? I will be coming here and I will be writing here. As you can see, the email column is here. I will write here alter table student drop column email semicolon. Now, if I write this column, this command, so after this, when we execute describe student, you will be seeing that this email column will not be there. So let me run it. So you can see that email column is now no more in the table structure. So this is the table. This is the command for doing this thing. Okay. So this is one thing which we have done. Now let's see another one. This time we are going to do is to okay. Sometimes like we have some to change a column name. Okay, we can call it sir to rename a column name. So here the syntax will be something like this. We will be writing alter table and you give the table name. And here we write rename, then rename the column. Okay, rename column. Then we will give the old column name, column to new column. Okay, so the new column name basically it means. So let's see example. Let's see. Let me remove this one. So let us assume this aggregate column is there. I want to change its name to total. So what I want to do to rename the column aggregate to total. So what should I do? For this, I need to write alter table student, rename column. The column name is aggregate to total. So what it will do, it will rename the column aggregate to total. So after executing the describe student, you will be going to see the change. So you can see now the column name has become total, right? So this is the command for changing. In case by mistake you have written a incorrect name, so you can use this command to change the name of the table. Okay. Now, next thing is to so we are now want to change the to change the uh, add primary key to a table. So do not get confused that you are adding something new, but here we are assuming that you forget to add a primary key constraint on a column, and you want to add the constraint to the column later. So how you can do it? For doing this, what you will do first, the syntax will be you will be writing uh, uh, alter table, then the same table name. Then you will be writing here add primary key, and then in bracket, first bracket, you will be writing the column name which you want to make as the primary. So in this case, you are basically adding a primary key constraint to a column. So for example, to make the column admission number as the primary. Now, if you look at this here, so here I have given the primary key constraint. Let's see. Somehow I have not forgot to write this thing. Now, if I run this command, so you see there is no PRI, primary key constraint here, and it allows null values. So to add a primary key constraint, later stage, we are going to write alter table student, and then we will write add primary key, and in bracket we are going to write the column name, which is in this case is admission number. Now if I write this command and then if I execute this one, so if I run this one, you will be seeing that this admission number, as it's a primary key, it will not allow null value, and there will be key as a primary. So you can see these two constraints have now added. So this is the command to add a primary. Now it happens that you need to also remove a primary. To move primary key from a table. So this time the syntax value will be alter table, again the table name, and this time we are writing remove primary key. Now we do not need to mention the name of the primary key. Why? Because in a table there is only one primary key. So the system, this command automatically knows that you want to remove the primary key. So what is the for example, for doing the example, uh, let's see, we are removing this primary key. As primary key, you can see it is here. Admission number can no primary key. So now you're writing alter table student, and then we are writing here drop primary key. So this is the drop primary key, which will be remove the primary key constraint from this column admission number. So describe student will again show you what is the change. So let me run it. So you can see now admission number, the primary key constraint is now removed. Okay. So this is something, one more command which is there, which is very helpful. Now finally, you want to remove the table altogether, that table. Okay, it's a table with the data. So to remove a table along with its data. So the command will be, syntax will be drop table, and then in bracket you will be writing table name. Okay, so let's see. But how will we know there is a table? How many tables are there in a database? So to view the tables present in a database, we give a command. Syntax of the command is show tables. Just show tables. So we will writing it here, show tables. So the show tables command is going to show me, in this case there is only one table. Now if I want to remove this table, I will be writing drop table student. So and then I'm writing show tables. So if I run it, so you can see drop table student will remove the table. So thereafter there won't be any more tables. But I think I need to move the previous command. And now if I show you, so the program did not output anything. It simply means there are no more tables. Okay. So even you can verify by writing describe student. So as the student is not there, so it will be giving you a error that the table student doesn't exist. So this is the drop table command. There is one more thing happen. In case the table exists, so if the table does not exist, in case the table does not exist, we can use the following command. We can use the following command. In that case, we are using the command drop table if exists, and then the table name. Okay. So if I come here and if I'm writing a drop table student, and let's see, I'm trying to write this command again. So I will be getting a error because the table is already, so unknown table has come. So but if I write this, if exists, means if the table is there, then the drop table, then in that case, you will be getting no output. So this is also a way to do this thing. And finally, to uh, remove a table, to remove the data of a table, to remove the data of a table without creating, without removing the structure of the table. So the command is, the syntax of this command will be truncate and then the table name. So example I show you here. Let's see, as there is no more data present, but still this command is valid. So we are writing here truncate student. If I run this command, it will not give me anything. But the thing is that if I write here describe student, so I will see the structure of the student is intact. So this is also a very powerful command which will remove the entire data of a table without even removing the structure of a table. So in different cases, you will be use it accordingly.
Thank you for watching my video. I hope it has given you better understanding of the topic. For more such videos on SQL commands, do like, share and subscribe my channel.